Having a neat finishing is not mostly having expensive tools or expensive machines, expensive gadgets. Most sometimes is doing those little things that you overlook that will make a big difference in your sewing. And in today's video, we'll be talking about how you can improve your finishing even without expensive machine and expensive gear. Hi, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we'll be looking into things that you can do to improve your finishing as a tailor in this industry. You don't want to give someone a shabby work. The first one is start cutting off excess threads. Do you see this one is very important? In fact, I myself, I make this mistake of leaving it sometimes, but recently I have been intentional about cutting it off. So cut out every excess thread. Once you get to the end of your sewing, cut out the end thread and then go back and cut the beginning, because most times it's that one that you started with that we don't usually cut out at that point. So go back and cut out that one. So cut out every excess thread so that your work is looking neat with no dangling thread around. Next one is slow down your sewing. In fact, this one is very important. Once you start rushing your sewing, you see that at the end of the day you will be wondering, am I the one that really did this work? So slow down your sewing, especially as a beginner. Yes, I know that there's sometimes we are trying to meet up, right? But let it not be everything. Let it not be you that every time you are sewing, you're always rushing. Let it maybe be something once in a while you're trying to meet up. But please slow down your sewing. It's going to help you to give you that perfect finishing at the end of the day. The next one that will help you to improve your finishing without expensive tool is proper ironing at every given stage. In fact, if you're watching my sewing tutorial, you will hear me say most times, if you have a means of ironing, please do well and iron at this point. Yes, I know that some people don't have means of ironing, so let's not trying to make them feel like they are not part of us. So if you have a means of ironing at every given stage, please iron your fabric. It will give you, in fact, try it and leave it in the comment section if you tried it with your previous method of not ironing, and tell me which one comes out better or which one do you prefer. Yes, I know it's going to kind of seems like it's stressing you, but at the end of the day, you're going to love the work. You're going to like it. The next one that will give you a perfect finishing even without your expensive gadgets or equipment is neat cutting before sewing. You see this one, I learned it from someone close to me that is also a tailor. So whenever you see her cutting, she will pin her fabrics down so that when she's cutting, it doesn't move around, and then she has scissors that, in fact, a very sharp scissors, so that the edges of those fabric that she's cutting will be very clean and straight. So I learned it and it has helped me a lot. In fact, I don't need to have to struggle with excess or shabby edges as I am sewing. So neat cutting before sewing is very important. Next thing that you can do to help you with neat finishing even without your expensive tool is using simple finishing method. So if you don't have a serging machine, you can do zigzag stitches at the end of your fabric. I've used this a lot when I was starting until I started serging my fabric. So you can use your zigzag stitches to cut down all those excess fraying fabrics at the end of your sewing. Next one is turning your rough edges. We are talking about using simple finishing method. So if you don't have a serging machine, you can just turn your fabric. You can turn the seam side, you can turn the neckline, you can turn everywhere. So turning your fabric inside out. Does it make sense? Yes, it does. Another one is using bias tape to turn in all those fraying parts. So you can use your bias tape, for example, your neckline, you can use your bias tape to pipe it. Another thing that is very important is to check your thread, check your tension and your needle. You don't want to be using a cracked needle while working, especially on fabrics like satin, bridal satin, silk satin, whichever satin. In fact, you don't want to use a crack needle on any of your work. It's going to give it that you're going to crack the fabric. I don't know, there's a right word I'm looking for, I can't find it. So you're going to give marks on your fabric, so you don't want to work with a crack needle. That's what is going to make your work very unprofessional. And also check your tension, because there's some tension that when you're working it, you see that it is pulling your fabrics together. It's not giving it that smooth clean finishing. So you check your tension. If that kind of thing is happening, check your tension, check your bubble case. So check all those things, because they are not so expensive. They are not expensive gadgets, but those little mistakes or those little things will make your work to come out not looking neat and professional. Another thing is, as a beginner, you can easily just practice on a scrap of fabric. You don't need to jump into the main fabric before while sewing. So after all those tension setting, blah blah blah, you can just practice on a scrap of fabric to make sure that your machine is in the right state of mind. Because it seems that sometimes the brain of the machine is touching. So it's in the right frame of my mind before you continue. You now go into your main sewing. The next thing that will help you to improve on your finishing without expensive tool is mindset shifts. Stop comparing yourself with experienced tailors, because they have their way. In fact, they've had years of experience and you are just starting. So what's the comparison for? At the end of the day, you are the one that will have a headache. So stop comparing your beginning with experienced tailors. Focus on learning one small thing at a time, and this will help you to improve. In fact, before in the next few months, it's going to help you to improve so much that, in fact, you'll be wowed at yourself as well. So your finishing will improve, not by tools, or by improving simple habits. And I hope this video finds you well and you find value in it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and then make small changes in your sewing habits, and you are going to have a very neat finishing. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.